There's no way all the histrionics that you see Sirianni doing on the sideline. There's no way on earth that Jeff Lurie finds that charming, right? Jeff Lurie doesn't believe in that. Jeff Lurie believes that a coach should be stoic. I know this, right?
Our friend Angelo Cataldi, the legendary man from WIP. Also, don't forget AngeloCataldi.com. How you doing, Angie?
I'm doing good, Dan, but I'm a little confused. Howie Roseman wasn't going to go all in this year, and then he watched his team go 6-2 before the bye, and he realized he better try to make some moves. Why didn't he just do this in the off season? You know, you said last time I was on, he had a bad off season last year. He made himself have a bad off season by shortchanging what he already had on his roster. If you're going to get rid of all those guys they did, like Sweat and Williams and those people, bring in other people that can play those positions instead of waiting till the trade deadline and then suddenly fortifying the defense. How many of us said before the season the defense was not deep enough and not talented enough because you let 5 of your starters leave? Why is he doing this now? Why didn't he do it in the offseason? Even though they're 6-2, they're in good shape right now. But he's kind of acknowledging at least that the team doesn't have enough talent on the defensive side of the ball.
Do you agree then? So what we're doing here is, and of course, Angelo, you put it in focus here. So we're glazing a guy for basically starting the house on fire and then putting it out.
Yes, exactly. That's exactly what he's doing. And it's like, why? What? You had the best roster in the league, and then you let 5 of your starters on one of your units leave, and you really didn't do much to fix that. And then you get to the trade deadline and go, wow, we're going to have a problem here. I better bring in some more talent. And I mean, they're all kind of, they're all kind of like rolling the dice. I don't know if any of these guys will help. I guess the guy they just got from the Dolphins will help some, right? He's got
if healthy. Always put that on the end. If healthy,
he will help. All right, good. And he's worked with Fangio, so that's, I guess, an advantage. The other guys are really, you don't know. Maybe they'll help. I can't imagine they're going to help a lot. But you're saying I didn't do enough in the offseason. Why didn't you? It makes no sense. You had the best roster.
With all the money, think about what you're saying there then. You're right. All the money that they've spent on bringing, what's his name? Jadari Smith, the defensive end that retired, all the edges that you brought in, now signing this guy. Why didn't you just sign Josh Sweat?
Exactly. And you didn't because you didn't want to be accused of having too much sentiment. Because in 2017, after they won, they brought everybody back because they're so sentimental. It sounds like you're pretty sentimental now if you're bringing Brandon Graham back from the scrap heap, from the retirement home, because, you don't have enough there either. Is that sentiment? And he talked himself into a bad game plan, and now he's trying to work his way out of it. And I'll give him this. He's busy. That guy does more than all the other GMs put together in the NFL. I swear to God, nobody makes as many moves as Howie does. And I love that. I love that he treats this like the baseball trade deadline. And I like that in him. I just don't understand why he did it this way this time.
Do you think Jeffrey Lurie being on the field last week and being out there, I mean, how much pressure do you think the owner puts on him when it comes to going like this? Hey, listen, man, we're a less talented football team now. And you know him, I mean, I think he's involved with all these moves. I'm not saying he makes the right moves, Angelo. We know that the organization, and I'm not calling him any kind of Al Davis here or anything. However, what you just said, surely even a novice guy would know these moves you made, dude, they're not panning out. Even the evaluation, would that come from Jeffrey for him to be able to go out and make a move like this? I mean, they did give up a 3 for this, or that's just how.
I don't think it comes from Jeffrey. A couple of reasons. One is Jeffrey Lurie, there's no way all that all the histrionics that you see Sirianni doing on the sideline. There's no way on earth that Jeff Lurie finds that charming, right? Jeff Lurie doesn't believe in that. Jeff Lurie believes that a coach should be stoic. I know this, right? And he's got his guy yelling and screaming and acting like a lunatic all the time. I would think he might go to Howie and go, Howie, how do we end up with Petulo? Because that is going to bite them in the ass in the second half of the season. Let me give you a bye-week prediction. The Eagles are going to struggle to play 500 ball in the second half of the season because they're going to get burned by Petulo. The schedule's about to get harder again. They clearly do not have a lot of depth at several positions that are going to get them burned. And they got play calling that basically they have to rely on Hurts to do now because the guy they got doing it doesn't know what he's doing. So enjoy 6-2 because they're still only going to end up with 10 wins. All right. They're going to end up, as I predicted, 10-7. I'm far more convinced of that now than I was before the first game.
And there he is, Angelo. So you're saying now.
Nostradamus has returned.
Hey, wait a minute now. You're saying now, by the way, last week, now here we are here, man. You're saying they're going 10-7. Okay. So you think the fan base and some people in the fan base, these lunatic Eagle fans, think because they beat the Minnesota Vikings and they beat the New York Giants, this is pyrite, fool's gold, and now all of a sudden everything is turned around and they're better.
You nailed it. They were 4-0, barely. They squeezed by. Then they lost 2 games in the same week. One of them was the Giants. My goodness. All right.
Terrible.
And then you thought everything's back to normal now because you beat 2 weak teams. And you go to the bye. And everybody's going 6-2, 6-2. It could just as easily be 4-4. It really could just as easily be 4-4 or lower than that.
They're 2-2 over the last 4 games.
Now, what your GM is saying in the bye week, what he is saying right now is, I acknowledge we do not have enough talent. I acknowledge this. I'm going to make more moves than any other GM in the NFL to try to fix what I didn't do right in the offseason. Well, then he's seeing what we're seeing, Dan. He knows they may be 6-2 on the record, but they're not 6-2, and that they're going to get burned on the back end. And maybe you can fix a little bit of it with these moves, not a lot. You can't fix Kevin Petulo. That's unfixable. And Sirianni ain't going to help you with that. So that's where the exposure's coming in the second half of the season. I would bet on it. I mean, I would bet on this. This one I got. I know the 5 wins last year was not great. But this one, my reclamation is upon us. I will be my retribution. I will come back and prove my wisdom.
Okay, so in your opinion,
right,
instead of Kevin Petulo moving on to being a guy like a Shane Steichen, he's going to be a guy that's going to be more Brian Johnson, in your opinion.
Without a doubt. I'm positive of it. The only difference is Jalen Hurts is 2 years further into his career and may be able to cover up some of that. But, they ain't going to shut up A.J. Brown. He knows they're making some awful play calling. He sees that it's been the weakness of the team. And we'll see how this all plays out in the second half. But brace yourself. You have enjoyed the best part of this season. It is now officially over.
A.J. Brown, you mentioned him. Will A.J. Brown be on this football team at the start of 2026?
Wow. That's a great, it's funny. Who were my decision? Yeah. I don't believe you placate superstar players who are also basket cases. I don't think you do that. I just say, you're playing here or you're not playing. I don't play that game. I wouldn't play that game. But more and more, what I'm reading, what I'm hearing is they're running out of patience with him, which, good. They're running out of patience with the greatest receiver they ever had. They're running out of patience with a guy, Dan, that they have put in this position by not using properly. It is his complaints are valid. I keep saying this every time I'm with you. He is right. Throw him the frickin' ball. He will catch it in traffic. Third down, big play. Dial him up and tell Jalen to get rid of the friggin' ball, even if it looks like he's covered, because he'll catch it. And you're going to let him go because you put him in a bad mood, and then you got tired of seeing that he's in a bad mood. To me, it's on you. I don't blame A.J. Brown. They're all prima donnas to me. You got to manage it. Manage the guy. He's great. He's better than Mike Quick. He's better than Harold Carmichael. He's the best receiver the Eagles have ever had.
Better than T.O.
Better than all of them. T.O. in his prime, his absolute prime, this guy's better. The only reason his numbers don't match with those is because the Eagles are not using him properly.
Do you agree then that just like with Andy Reid not being able to handle, because Tom Brady has said this, remember something, Angelo, and this is going to be kind of, direct on Aaron Hernandez. That was a head case that turned out to be the enormous head case of all time. But
Yes.
still, Belichick and Tom Brady had that guy sitting next to Tom Brady in the locker room, and they had to manage that. Andy Reid couldn't manage T.O. and McNabb. Do you think that same thing is being handled here? Because if Nick's got this handle on this culture in this building and in this room, how come, A.J. Brown is allowed to go out and make all these statements? Because it contradicts what the what the head coach is saying with this fabulous culture, with all the things that we have, with everything we're doing. And then he comes out and he goes, I'm not on the same page with these guys. These guys they don't listen to me. I don't even know if I want to be here. That's the kind of context I get in it.
All right, here's the first thing you need to know. Sirianni is not challenging anyone in the locker room, in the front office, anywhere. He is a professional ass kisser, all right? So he's telling A.J. Brown whatever A.J. Brown wants to hear. Sirianni's mistake is in bringing his Bobo in to call plays and creating the situation by frustrating Brown, who sees he's open, who knows he can get open, who knows he can impact that offense twice as much as he does, but they won't call his number enough. You watch some of these other games, Nakua, my God, before he got injured yesterday, they called every series he was out there making a big play. Jefferson, constantly in the middle of what's going on offensively. You will forget A.J. Brown is on the Eagles team for halves at a time. He'll go through a half and you won't even see the ball in his direction. Or one play in the whole first half. No, use him. Do you understand? Dial him up 8, 9, 10 times every single game. And he will get 100 yards for you or more. He'll pick up a touchdown or two for you, and he'll get you big first down if you use him. But they keep talking themselves out of it. Why? Dan, it makes no sense. When they throw him the ball, he catches it. If he doesn't catch it, he makes sure the guy covering him doesn't catch it. He's a phenomenal player, and they don't know how to handle him. And that's the biggest thing. I'm in the A.J. Brown camp. I am team A.J.
Do you think they've stopped developing Jalen Hurts by the type of hires that they bring in? Look how inconsistent the hires have been. And you know what? He's getting more knowledge of the game. I think he's learning by failure of the coordinators that he brings in, because he's been around so many good people that I think he understands. Like you say, he's taken more of a baton, and I think he does do this now. Angelo, I think that was his suggestion. We get him under center because they look better when he's under center. I think some of the cosmetic things that they've done, I wonder, and I think that that's from him going through all these changes that he's had, because it looks like to me the same stuff they did with Wentz. It's almost like they just stopped.
Yeah.
Is that a bad view of what I'm doing here?
You're exactly right. And Hurts has a new problem. Hurts understands more now than he did even 2 years ago when he had to carry Brian Johnson. He knows more now. You could see he's making plays up in the moment. They're improvising. You could see it. Waving down to Brown. Go deep. I'll throw it to you.
Yeah.
Like you're playing in the street. But the problem that Hurts has now that he has not had in the time he has been with the Eagles, he no longer has an offensive line that he can rely on, right? He's still got some names up there. Lane Johnson's still terrific.
Yep.
Mailata, although he's not having his best year, is still a solid guy. When you're using Brett Toth, when Brett Toth is on the field, you are doomed. He stinks. Does anyone watch tape? Please, Dan, watch one series with Brett Toth and then say to yourself, he's like an accountant in real life, right? He's just doing this. He's dabbling on the side in the NFL. He doesn't know what he's doing. He's awful. Steen is not good. He's a way big step down for what they've had before. Dickerson, always hurt. Cam Jurgens is good, but he also is prone to injury. You don't have the depth. They didn't bring in anyone. They let Becton go, and they didn't. What did they do with that? They did nothing with that. Becton was a great run blocker. That is why Saquon Barkley was so much better last year than he's been most of this season, because he had holes to run through. When they finally figured out in game 8, then they went, wait a minute. Barkley's a good runner. He had 2,000 yards last year. Let's see if we can get him the ball, not between the tackles, like outside where there's room.
Yeah.
Tula went, oh, what if we did that?
Zone runs.
I wonder if that would work. Boom! First play, 65 yards touchdown. Yeah, this is not that complicated. But they've got a guy calling plays who doesn't know his ass from a hole in the wall. And that there's no way you survive a whole season with that.
I want to ask you, did you think that Donovan McNabb was a great player?
I thought he was a great talent, a good player. Not good enough. Do you think
Andy Reid failed him in the end on continuing to develop him?
Well, again, if you don't mind.
Because I'm going to go with that with Hurts here.
Right.
Because I thought that Donovan McNabb was trending to being a Hall of Fame player.
He had the ability to be a Hall of Fame player.
Okay. What happened to him? Because did coaching get in the way? Did Donovan get in the way? Because, again, here's Jalen Hurts here, again, with all these C- coaches around him at times. Sometimes he's got an A guy. Sometimes he's got a C- guy.
Right.
I mean, what happened to McNabb? Because maybe that could tell us the history of what's going on here with Jalen.
All right. First, I would like to just a moment of silence for Andy's rough loss yesterday against the Bills. It was devastating. Even though at one point that smacked ass Tony Romo, they called a play that was effective, and he took 10 minutes to tell you how brilliant Andy Reid was. They didn't even know if Andy Reid called a friggin' play, right? Oh, this is it. Oh, look at that. He got 9 yards. Wow, he's so amazing. Andy Reid, Dan. If Andy Reid did not stumble upon Patrick Mahomes, Andy Reid right now would have 0 rings. Do you understand? Andy Reid, in the history of American sports, is the most overrated coach or manager ever. Ever. You understand? Ever. Like people went, oh my God, Andy Reid went to Kansas City and he suddenly figured out how to manage the clock. That's amazing. He did not know how to do it here. Well, he was relying on McNabb, and where McNabb had talent to be a great player, Hall of Famer, there was something missing. Heart, brain, something was missing. It wasn't there. I don't think it would have mattered that much. The only thing that could save Reid was a guy that was such a virtuoso at what he does, like Mahomes, that he could overcome Reid. And to this day, every commentator in every sport, in every opportunity, will tell you how brilliant Andy Reid was, because when they had the meeting the night before, Reid told 3 fat jokes. And they went, oh, this man's so charming. Oh, what a hilarious wit this man is. Oh, he's brilliant. I talked to him for 14 years, all right? Most of the time, when I was interviewing him, Dan, I had the people around me remove sharp objects because I wanted to hurt myself. All right. The guy, please. If there's one thing I should know, doing 33 years,
No, I got it.
Philadelphia sports, is whether a guy had a brain or not. Reed is the most overrated. Sirianni is the dumbest. Oh, and can I just get this one other thing in?
Please.
Ladies and gentlemen, America, land of the free, land of opportunity. The biggest smacked ass you would ever meet in your lifetime. Gabe Kapler today was named the general manager of the Florida Marlins. I would have placed a tree stump in that office before I would have given Gabe Kapler that job.
He's so dumb.
Gabe Kapler is now the GM of the Marlins.
Good.
So
job.
needless to say, if you're a GM in big leagues, call the Marlins today. They have a jackass running the team.
No shit.
My God,
terrible,
these guys.
Man.
I dealt with all of them, Dan.
I see this.
Good. But Reed, no. Reed,
I got two more here for you. Now listen,
yes.
I had Ray Didinger on. I had him on last week. He was brilliant. I asked him this question. Was Jalen Hurts the greatest quarterback the Eagles have ever had? And he said that Randall Cunningham was.
Wow. No, can't be. Randall Cunningham never won a championship. Now, I know what Ray's argument is. Ray played for coaches who really were not any good at coaching offense. I know that. And he lost Doug Scoville, the quarterback's coach.
He mentioned that. Instrumental
in Randall's development. Randall was the most talented. Randall's the most talented quarterback maybe ever.
I think he is the modern day Patrick Mahomes.
Right.
I think he's Randall Cunningham today.
Right. But Randall, when he was an Eagle, he didn't win. He didn't win the championship. He didn't get close. Jalen Hurts is not as talented, but way smarter, way more of a team guy. Randall Cunningham, he saw it just as his show. And Buddy Ryan, who was his coach for many of the years he was in Philadelphia, let it be his show. Buddy didn't care about offense. He said, Randall, do your thing. I'm going to worry about my defense and the 4-6 and all that stuff that he did. But I'm telling you right now, I don't agree with Ray on that one, which now I have to wonder, man, I'm probably wrong. Ray's been right. And every time I've ever disagreed with Ray, I found that out I was wrong. So I have to say, if you're betting at home, go with Ray on this. But personally, I got Hurts.
No, I said this. I went like this. I said, I know your role now at IP when you were there. And he's like, what? I go, Angelo in the morning, Howard in the afternoon. I know your role. He goes, funny, you should say that. And I said, I got the role here now. Okay, here's the last one, Angelo. Vic Fangio, better than Buddy Ryan, better than Bud Carson, better than Jim Schwartz, better than, like I said, Jim Johnson. In your opinion, has he been the best defensive coordinator the Eagles have ever had?
Jim Johnson was.
That's what Ray said too. Why for you?
Jim Johnson was an amazing coach. He was a guy who understood aggression and no risk and found the middle ground. You got a lot. Buddy Ryan, brilliant defensive mind, no question about it. But it was all aggression. And he would get burned because he blitzed all the time and he took massive risks. And a lot of times it worked, but he never won a playoff game at Philly. So come on, you got to win at some point. So that Fangio is really good, and he looks even better given that he came in after Jonathan Gannon was here. Jonathan Gannon is a moron. All right. Believe me that. Just listen for 10 minutes. You'll see what I'm talking about. Listen to him for 10 minutes. And you go, how the hell did this guy get to be a head coach, right? Well, he screwed his own team. This is a long story, but in the end, he told the Eagles he wasn't going to talk to Arizona, and he went and talked behind their back before the Super Bowl.
He was house hunting.
Then his team collapsed in the second half of the Super Bowl, and he didn't think he should be held to blame for that. But bottom line is, the best was Jim Johnson. Jim Johnson, he just Dan, the thing about him was, I know Hollis Thomas personally. Hollis Thomas, you bring Jim Johnson up and he glows. Seth Joyner, I used to work with, loved Jim Johnson because Jim Johnson took these talented guys, molded them into a great unit, and communicated. He communicated with them. He communicated with the coach. He communicated with the media. He checked every box. And none of these other guys checked every box. Jim Johnson is the best defensive coach I ever saw.
Last one here for you off of AngeloCataldi.com. You have a message for the Hurts bashers. What are they?
The Hurts bashers. Yeah, they're stupid. All right. You're stupid. You should keep your mouth shut. You don't know what you're talking about. All right. Seriously. You have no clue what you're talking about if you don't think that guy is top 5, top 3, possibly top. He's right there with the best guys. And you saw Torm yesterday. You saw Mahomes. You saw Allen. They're great. He is too. He is carrying now a offensive coordinator who needs a GPS to find his way to the NovaCare Center where their offices are. He is doing a lot of work you don't even know about, and he's holding them together. He's great. Seriously, guys, the people that are going after Hurts, maybe you should learn something about football before you talked about it, because that guy is a great football player.
Angelo, you were like the World Series on Saturday. You deliver. What'd you think of that thing, Angelo? I mean, Angelo, that was one of the, to me growing up, the 1975 World Series between the Red Sox and Reds.
Right.
That was arguably for me what really turned me on to baseball as a young kid.
Right.
And that was always been something that kind of always, the 86 series with the Mets and the Red Sox too was another one of those. What'd you make of that series on Saturday?
It was the rumors I've heard are that it is great. However, the game 3 ended at 2:50 a.m. in the East. Most of these games, the biggest moments in these great games happen on or around midnight. I am retired now, but I'm also extremely old. And I fall asleep. You know what I learned yesterday, Dan? I watched 7 hours of the Red Zone channel. It was just so damn entertaining. My God.
So Angelo Cataldi's become a man of clips?
I have I can watch all Scott Hanson's so great.
Yeah, Scott Hanson
coordinates it all.
Yeah.
I'm watching every game, every big play. It's wonderful. And I realized, I went, you know what? Baseball is so stupid. They didn't realize the most important games of the year and the most important innings of those games are played so late in the East that many, many people who would love them don't have access to them. They'd have to work or they have to get football. Every game, every big play is right there for you to see while you're still awake. And the more I watch football, Dan, the more I love it. Yep. Love it, love it, love it. And baseball to me is hockey. It's just another sport.
Wow, it's filler.
It's okay. Unless
so you and me, it's filler.
Now, the truth, it's kind of filler. You're right. But if the Phillies fire Rob Thompson today, I might have a little more. But right now, as of now, it's filler.
Listen, I know that. I know we're like, we're getting past like the time here for you because you got to go on your walk here, and I know you don't.
No, so here I'm very tired. I just did one of these 2 weeks ago, Dan.
Well, you told me it. You told me every 2. So I mean, I got to build your energy up. So listen. So the Packers lost, the Lions lost.
Yep.
Cowboys could lose. The Commanders lost their quarterback, Jaden Daniels, last night. Plus, they're on a respirator. I mean, everything's setting up for them right now. You still got 10 wins.
If any of those teams get to an 11th win, they will topple the Eagles this year. Because the Eagles are having 10 wins. Listen closely to me. I am looking for redemption, and I believe I have nailed this one. I analyzed everything for the second half, and then I divided it by Kevin Petullo. And what I got in the end is, 10 wins is correct this year.
AngeloCataldi.com. Make sure you guys get to it, my friend. I'll see you in 2 weeks. Thank you, Angelo.
I hope so. I'm going to go rest right now. I hope I'm ready in 2 weeks.
Thank you, Angelo. I appreciate
later,
you, brother. Thank you, sir.